10 people whose bodies refuse to decay. 1. Otzi the Iceman. The Iceman mummy was discovered in 1991 in the Alps. It's a well-preserved, male human corpse. The mummy is more than 5,000 years old. His belongings were scattered around his body. Otzi's clothes are made of grass and leather. He carried an axe, a knife, a quiver, and a pocket full of berries. 2. Toland Man. The Toland Man was found in Denmark. His body has been preserved in a peat bog. He lived and died sometime in the 4th century BC. The bog preserved his features perfectly. Locals even mistook him for a fresh murder victim in 1950. 3. Rosalia Lombardo. Little Rosalia died of pneumonia at age 2 in 1920. Her father was devastated. He called upon an embalmer to preserve her body. As a result, Rosalia hasn't aged over the last 104 years. Her body is kept in the Capuchin catacombs of Palermo, Sicily. Visitors call her Sleeping Beauty for her peaceful expression. 4. Xin Shui. Xin Shui is popularly known as Lady Dai. She was a Chinese noblewoman of the Western Han Dynasty. Her tomb was discovered 2,000 years after her death. The body was found with all the organs and blood vessels intact. There was also some blood in Lady Dai's veins. She still had her hair and eyelashes. No one knows how the body could have been so well preserved. 5. Dashi-Dorzho Itigilov. Itigilov is not a Buddhist holy man. He was a lama in Buryatia, Russia. Itigilov reportedly died mid-chant in 1927. He requested to be buried in the pose he died in, so he was interred sitting upright in the lotus position. His body was disinterred 3 times. Allegedly incorrupt, it's kept at a Volginsky Detsan. It sits outdoors under a tree. 6. Padre Pio. Padre Pio died in 1968. He'd been a Catholic priest for most of his life. Supposedly Pio had stigmata on his hands and feet. They smelled of roses and never healed, yet they never became infected either. Padre Pio was exhumed in 2008. His body was found to be incorrupt. Canonized in 2002, he lies at Our Lady of Grace Chapel in Italy. 7. Ledonsea. The unnamed Incan girl was sacrificed in a religious ceremony. She froze to death while drugged with coca leaves. The harsh Indian climate preserved her body. Ledonsea was discovered by explorers. She had lain in the same pose for 500 years. 8. John Torrington. Torrington was a British officer. He was on an expedition to find the Northwest Passage in 1846. He succumbed to lead poisoning at age 22. Torrington was buried in the barren tundra of the Canadian Arctic. In 1984, scientists dug up his makeshift grave. They found his corpse was shockingly intact. 9. Luigi Orione. Orione was a Catholic priest known for his humanitarian work. He established numerous charities around the world. He cared for orphans, the elderly, and the disabled. Orione died in 1940 after a fatal illness. In 1965, his body was exhumed and found to be intact. His remains have been on display since 1980. The Catholic Church declared him a saint in 2004. 10. Louise de Quengo. Louise de Quengo was a French aristocrat. She died in Brittany 350 years ago. In 2015, archaeologists uncovered her well-preserved body. Her clothes, cap, and shoes were also intact. The corpse was found in a hermetically sealed lead coffin. It had been placed in a stone tomb at a convent chapel in Rennes.